This is ruining your life. What's good, you guys? It's NWA here, Nurse Pat. Today we dropping some heat. Now this video is primarily for my male nurse audience who work night shift, but I think there's also some topics in here that'll tie in with like overall health and is gender neutral. Now it's important to know that night shift or graveyard shit graveyard shit sitting on toilet. Now it's important to know that the night shift or graveyard shift is not for everybody. In this video I'm going to go over some major hormonal imbalances that are typically associated with working night shift that are screwing you over. But lucky for you, I'm going to go over some things that I believe that can help mitigate these detrimental effects or even help prevent them. The major hormones I'm going to be talking about here include cortisol, ghrelin and leptin, serotonin, melatonin, and yes, my guy, testosterone. Cortisol is your stress hormone. This is typically raised in sleep-deprived night shifters. Now what does that do? This in turn hurts your gains or fitness immensely. You're more susceptible to gaining fat, decrease strength and energy when you're working out, and prohibit muscle protein synthesis. So sorry bro, curls for the girls ain't happening.
This type of body will get you 100 girls on the beach.
Now let's talk about ghrelin and leptin. These are basically your appetite control hormones. Alterations in these hormones due to disruption in your circadian rhythm and sleep cycle can make you feel more hungry and less full or satiated. This may make you want to snack more or eat more.
You have chicken nuggets.
And what does this lead to? You guessed it, more weight gain. Moving on to serotonin, your mood hormone. Night shifters tend to have decreased serotonin, so they have changes in their overall mood. Or happiness is something that might be taking a hit. Decreased serotonin levels out of your normal increase your risk for anxiety, depression, and other sleep disorders. When it comes to melatonin, your sleep or circadian rhythm hormone, it's obvious this is going to be kind of screwed up. This hormone is going to be all over the place, especially if you're flipping back and forth between a night shift sleep schedule and a normal sleep schedule. In a normal person, melatonin levels typically are higher at night and when it's dark, and then when it's in the morning, daylight is out, those levels decrease. For night shift, we're basically going against the grain and doing the opposite. And last but not least, definitely not least, let's talk about testosterone. For us guys, having optimal natural levels of testosterone is important, literally in like all regards. Fitness-wise, decreased testosterone will take a hit on your gains. You will de-gains yourself.
Are you kidding me?
I just made up that word. Say goodbye to energy, strength, performance, and having generally a healthier looking body due to decreased testosterone. Okay, what if you don't care about looks or performance? This of course will also tamper with your libido or sex life.
Hey, this man just, I don't want to do this no more.
You may not want to talk about it. Your partner probably not going to be too happy about Mr. Softy down there working overtime.
Huh?
When he or she is trying to Netflix and chill.
No!
What'd she say?
She asked if we were gonna have our way with her.
Ew!
But you want some dick?
Daddy, chill.
Here's another thing. Low testosterone is linked to a decline in cognitive functioning and also increases your risk for dementia in the future. Okay, you know what? Enough of the negativity. I'm sorry, that's a lot. It sounds like a nightmare. What a lot of these detrimental effects have in common is basically your sleep deprivation and your sleep cycle. What's going to mitigate these effects is having a healthier lifestyle, exercising, having good nutrition, and having adequate sleep. I've been an ER nurse that works 12-hour shifts in the night for a little bit over a year now. And you know, honestly, I don't really feel a lot of those negative effects that I just mentioned. I mean, I seem okay, right?
You're a fake and a fraud!
None of this is medical advice. This is just what I do personally, and hopefully you might get something out of this and help you out. I try my best to maintain quality sleep as much as possible. This is number one.
He was number one.
And I try my best not to have too much flip-flopping of night shift sleeping and regular sleeping. Doing so will literally help you out with basically all those hormonal imbalances. For sleep, here's some of my main tricks and items that I use personally. I use these blue light blocking glasses when I'm indoors, especially at work, to prevent eye strain. I typically will use these earplugs here. They're pretty good. I got them from Amazon. You get like a lot of, like, I want to say like 200 of them for pretty cheap, and they last like forever. And I bought this eye mask here. I also have blackout curtains, and I also will play like on my Alexa speaker like some rain sounds, water sounds, you know, basically white noise to kind of drown out any other external noises I might hear in the background that are, you know, getting through the earplugs. It's important to also stay as comfortable as possible when you're sleeping. Typically for me, having a more cool environment helps me sleep better. So if it's super hot, it's definitely harder to sleep. Setting my phone to do not disturb is also very important. Sleep disruption and waking up, you know, in the middle of your cycle can be very hurtful. Most of your hormone regulation and recovery comes from when you're in a deeper sleep. So it's not good to have like, oh, 3 hours here, you're awake for like an hour or two, and 3 hours again, you're awake for an hour or two. Like, that's not as optimal as having like a full 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I do use melatonin for mainly when I switch back and forth between having a night shift schedule and going back to a normal mode of sleep. This way, I don't have times where I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just like wide awake. That used to happen and it does suck. I personally recommend scheduling yourself as much as possible to clump your shifts together as much as you can handle sanely in order to prevent flip-flopping back and forth. So what I do is I do 3 days in a row and then 2 days off, 3 days in a row again, and then I'll have 6 days off. That way you're not like one on, one off, one on, and like, you know, all over the place. Your body's gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? What do you want from me?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
You don't want to be confusing your circadian rhythm too much like that. Now, exercise and getting your nutrition on point is also very important. This will help regulate your serotonin, testosterone, your ghrelin and leptin levels, your cortisol levels, etc. I exercise 4 to 5 days a week, including in between my shifts. In terms of strength and hypertrophy, I personally haven't really seen any setbacks that are due from working night shift. The only setbacks I have are either due to injury or sickness. I usually meal prep most of my work dinners. I only really eat out when I'm like socializing with others. I usually feel that my body feels more energy and awake when I have proper meals, you know, especially when I have my fruits and veggies throughout the day when I'm working night shift. I also count calories, so my daily consumption hasn't really deferred from when I was not night shift. So my calorie in, calorie out is exactly the same. Therefore, eating at night hasn't really made a difference with whether I gain weight or lose weight. Another aspect I prioritize is having good work-life balance and self-care. Being mindful of this will help you with your serotonin, cortisol, and testosterone regulation. You know, all of us, it's easy to make more money if we work more overtime, pick up shifts, etc. But personally, I choose not to. I prefer to maintain good relationships with my friends, family, my significant other by having time for them. I also prefer having more time for my hobbies. I just know for sure if I had more days working and less time with others and doing the things that I want, the more stressed I'll be. Doing so will be horrible cortisol-wise. I can't stress that enough. Like that wordplay. I got an old video up there too, talking about self-care and burnout and whatnot. Shameless plug, I know. Support your boy. Alright, so all of those things that I just mentioned are what I personally believe are the reason why I haven't really felt all those negative effects that people talk about that are associated with night shift. Now, of course, there's a lot of other associated health risks and comorbidities due to working night shift, primarily long term. This video mainly is talking about like the hormonal effects that you're going to be feeling and you're gonna notice, right? Personally, I don't plan to stay night shift long term, but you know, it's not as bad as I expected it to be, just by all the negative things people would say. Well, there you have it, y'all. Sorry it's a super long video. I just think there's so many important gems to talk about when it comes to night shift because it's seen in such a negative light. And I just wanted to share what's helped me out so that you don't have those struggles. I don't want you to be struggling, or I don't want you to be scared of night shift because of those things that people say. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already to support your boy. And as always, stay safe, stay humble. I'm out.